Hey, and welcome. Hey, and welcome, you guys. I thank you for being here. Before we get started with this video, please do all of the things at the bottom of the screen for your girl. Like the video, it's a free way to support the channel. Subscribe if you haven't already. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Comment down in the comment section sharing your thoughts, but keeping it cute. Speaking of sharing, share this video where you share your videos because sharing is indeed caring. And if you would like to put a little something in the tip jar, the Cash App and Venmo are there for just that. I appreciate you guys clicking on the video. I thank you so very much. I really, really do. Your girl is playing catch up, and we are going to get right into the thing. I'm not going to waste any more time. We are here for Apple TV's Imperfect Women that premiered in the month of March, and we're going to just jump right on in. Now, Imperfect Women, you know how Apple TV like to do. They rarely miss, but they don't really market and advertise like they should. But you know, if you know, you're going to know, you're going to take your behind over there and you're going to watch it. When I saw this, poster with the art of who was going to be in it, I was already in the thing. Okay. I was already in the thing. Now, this is based on a novel, and you know how it goes with books. The book people be very upset and very, very bothered about these adaptations. Okay. How y'all take liberties and it don't go how it's supposed to go. Now, your girl is just getting back into reading, and the list is very long. It's a reading, Audible, any of the things. And this one is not even on the list. So I haven't read it. I have no frame of reference to go on. So my opinions are strictly based on what I am seeing on my screen. Now, in the novel, from what I've heard, it is 3 European women. And as I am watching this series, even though the series is produced by all women, I am inclined to believe that we should have left it as 3 European women instead of introducing a black woman. Okay, even though I love the black woman, I really, really do. And Kerry Washington is indeed one of the reasons that I came here. Okay, it's the reason why I came on in and sat on down and pressed play on the thing. But the baby, the way is she is portrayed, I don't know, we could have left it. I don't know, it's giving. Let's just get into it. So we have these 3 friends that you see on the screen who met in college. We have Eleanor, Nancy, and Mary. And baby, in the first episode, within, not even the first 10 to 15 minutes, Nancy, who is played by Kate Mara, is up on out of here. Okay, she has gone up yonder. Okay, and we hear Eleanor, who is played by Kerry Washington, talk about what good friends they were. A kinship. They were to grow old together. But were you? Because as we're watching this series, it's giving frenemies. Associates at best. Like y'all know each other, but like not really. Like y'all like each other, but y'all really don't. That's just my opinion. If you have watched, for sure get down and share yours. Now, Eleanor is being questioned by the police. She was the last one to see or talk to Nancy the prior night. Speaking of that night, we see the 3 ladies meet up for Mary's birthday and they catch up. Okay, shoot the things and talk about life and what's going on. Now, when Miss Mary steps away, the are going to play. Okay, so Nancy reveals that she is still being the key word, having an affair with some guy, David, that she met at work. Now, Nancy, much like Tommy over on Martin, she don't got no job, man. Okay, she came from a very hard life and married well to some man named Robert, okay? And she devotes her time to philanthropy. But she says when she's having this conversation with Eleanor that she's going to end things. Later on, while Eleanor is sleeping with this fine guy, Jordan, from work, who was played by Ron Flynn. Well, they had done all the bumping and grinding, and they were literally asleep. When in the middle of the night, she gets a call from Nancy's husband looking for her. Baby, why he called you? That was the question, but we would soon find out why Robert was always getting in contact with Eleanor. Please, Jesus. So she's texting Nancy, trying to be a good girlfriend, like, girl, your husband is looking for you. What is going on? Where you at? You okay? Pick up your phone, answer your phone, do the things. She's telling Robert not to call the police. Then she take her happy ass over there because unbeknownst to us at this moment, Eleanor has been in love with Robert since the day they have met. 18 years to be exact. 18 years to be specific. And she's going to tell her brother that either in episode 2, episode 3. I don't remember. It don't matter. But girl, what are we doing here? She says she met him first. Okay, she's on her rage. Okay, I met him first. I met him first. And then she proceeded to introduce him to Nancy. Now, see, that's where you mess up, ladies, okay? If you like the man and you want the man, then you don't go just introduce him to your friend. I mean, you can, because I mean, if you like the friend better, he like the friend better. Ain't really nothing you can do about it. But I mean, you just set up the play. So here we are in want. Now at the Hennessy home this evening, okay, yes, that is their last name. Okay, they white folks and their last name is Hennessy. She, Eleanor, low key, but high key, dry snitches that Nancy was having an affair, but that she doesn't know much about it. Now, as they're talking, the police arrive, baby, and they notify Mr. Robert that a body has been found and they believe it is Nancy's. It looks like there was an assault and she was found in Arroyo Seco Park. Baby, we have got a murder. And it's time to get our pens and our pads and put together our good old suspect list. You get down in the comments and let me know who you had on your suspect list from the jump, episodes 1 and episodes 2, baby, okay? Now, the police needed somebody to ID the body, and lo and behold, Eleanor is the one to do so. And I was confusion, okay? I said, why not her husband? Or was he there and they just didn't show him? I thought that part was weird. Maybe it was just me. So then Eleanor is tasked with the job of going on over to Mary's house to tell her what happened. Because like I said, these three are supposed to be best friends, okay? And Mary is the stay-at-home mom of the group. She got questions, but Eleanor, she don't have the answers, way. She just don't got them. So Mary's son, Marcus, walks in during this conversation, and she's asking about his casework. And I don't know, something about Marcus was giving me suspicious from the moment we met. Marcus was on the suspect board. Eleanor was on the suspect board. Hell, Robert was on the suspect board. Now, Eleanor and Robert, a little too easy, but they were still on there, baby, okay? Because, wait for it, baby. Wait for Eleanor's actions. So we meet Cora. Now, Cora is Nancy and Robert's daughter, and they're supposed to be getting prepared for the funeral. It's a memorial, whatever you want to call a child. So she's asking Eleanor to stay with them. Okay, them, that's Cora and Robert over in Robert's house. I said, baby, no. She does not want to be alone with her dad, and she says she doesn't feel safe. Now, Robert has recently stopped drinking, so I'm saying to myself, is he a violent drunk, or does she think he's just responsible for her mom's death? Eleanor decides that it's not a wise idea to stay there, and maybe that's about the only sound thought that she has had for it. Well, that she has for a while, okay? Because the thoughts get a little more sound when she comes home to roost, okay? But initially, Eleanor don't have no good thoughts. Now she could have had her come stay at her place, but at least she didn't stay there with Robert because the optics of that were very, very bad. Over at Nancy's homegoing, Robert's dad is seeming a little off, he's seeming a little creepy, and the whole thing seems to me it's a little pretentious, but these people are wealthy after all. Now, during this memorial, while Eleanor is speaking her speech, reading her poem, we see some guy lurking around in the back in a denim jacket. You go ahead and write that down in your notes. Denim jacket, guy in the back. We get no answers to who he is, but I was sure we would find out before the season is over. And of course, indeed, we do. Like I said, go ahead and write it down. Man in a denim jacket. So they find an artist, a Black artist, who goes by the name of D.H. Boyette or David. David, I guess, child. Because that was supposed to be the guy that allegedly Nancy was seeing. Now, he had painted a nude of Nancy. And once they put the pieces of the puzzle together, baby, Robert loses it. He goes off the deep end. He rips his painting off the wall, and he starts staying outside as Eleanor's trying to get him to calm down. That he always wanted all of her. There was always a piece of her that wouldn't be his, or he couldn't have, something to that effect. Now, I didn't understand what he meant by that. Were we to believe that Nancy was just like always hot in the pants and running around and stepping out on Robert? But he knew. I couldn't understand. Only time will tell. I mean, at this moment, he seemed very intense and very much like he loved his wife. Do we get that through the whole series? No, we do not. But we'll get into it when we get into it. So, no doubt his affluent family is behind this, and they bring the Black man in, okay? Of course. So Mary mentions that Robert can be very ugly, be very angry when he's drunk or jealous. But Eleanor is like, she can't see it. And then Mary's like, that's because y'all have a connection, right? And Nancy knew about it. This was one of the things that she shared with Mary. Now, Miss Nancy has some things she shared with Eleanor about cheating and carrying on, and she has some things that she shared with her good girlfriend Mary. Good girlfriend, maybe not, but that's it's always something that's off. Excuse me, child. It's cold. It's kicking my behind. The doctor says it's just a simple cold. It feels like so much more than that. So excuse the little, stuffy congestion thing. It's always something about a group of friends that's a three group because somebody is always the odd man out. Like when they say three's a crowd, they do definitely mean it. But it looks like they're kind of splitting it up where, like I said, Nancy's telling one thing and telling the other one something else. But at the end of the day, like I said, were they really friends? So Robert shows his ass up at Eleanor's, wanting her to go to the ballet with him because he had tickets. And he wants to celebrate Nancy. I can't feel her, all the things. So the lady is not even cold in the ground yet, okay? And Eleanor feels like it's a bad idea because of optics. And at first I said, okay, yes, 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 absolutely bad idea. And like I said, I was like, yes, Eleanor, come on, girl. You did it. You did the right thing. But then we see her dressed up, arriving at the ballet to be his guest. And I said, Eleanor, girl, how did we get here? So many L's you're taking in this series. I hate to see it, or at least the first half of the season, child. So she is just giving Robert way too much energy, and it's giving, she wants to slide into that void that Nancy has left. And no doubt, the police are watching because what thing you're not going to do is run around with this lady's husband after she passed and nobody notice it. But who else is watching? Eleanor's brother, Donovan. He's watching and he's hired somebody else to watch, okay? And Donovan is played by none other than Leslie Odom Jr. Now, apparently, Eleanor can get a little irrational in her grief, and he says he saw it when their dad passed away, but we don't really get the details of how erratic and out there and irrational she was being when his dad passed. And she apparently has things for a little project, okay, a white male project, as it is. A married white man, okay, and then we fall into the trope that I fear it's created by Olivia Pope. So part of me had a problem with this series because of that, because even though Kerry Washington herself is married to a beautiful black man, Kerry Washington as an actress, okay, always is running behind somebody's white husband, and I'm sick and tired of it. Every single show, movie, series, damn near is what we see, and I'm tired of it. And the way that they just took her as a black woman and put her into this European role, and she's supposed to be so whitewashed, eh, wasn't really a fan. Anyway, brother saying, maybe had you joined a black sorority at BSU, you wouldn't be stuck on Robert's raggedy ass. And I, tend to agree. She seems like the black that was having cultural identity problems that didn't want to settle into her blackness. So while they're at the ballet, Robert gets a photo of Nancy. She's kind of draped over date David, okay? But spoiler alert, the ladies go banging on the door later on, okay? Ladies being Eleanor and Mary leading the charge, okay? Only to find out that he had no romantic involvement with Nancy at all. She hired him to paint her and her flaws, her scars. He met her at a party, but he didn't really remember much except the white guy that she was with was unhappy. It was a whole thing, baby. Mary was alluding to it was Robert. Eleanor's, Robert could do no wrong, shows a picture of Robert, and the man's like, if I could remember what he looked like, we wouldn't be here now, okay? Because y'all didn't pick me up for no reason. But then as they're leaving, he's kind of telling them, shame on you as her friend that you couldn't see her pain, you couldn't see her suffering, because it was, it was ruminating, it was oozing all over, and he can see it. And as we get into the series and into the season, in fact, we could see it, and they didn't seem to. I won't say they don't seem to care. They were kind of oblivious to it because they're not really friends like that. I'm gonna keep saying it. That's just what it's given to me. It's not. That's the part of this series that kind of eludes me is the closeness of this friendship. And even when it comes to, honestly, to Nancy and her husband, I don't see the connection that they're trying to get us to see. But maybe further as we go on. There's glimpses here, but then here is something else. So anyway, like I said, the charge for that was led by Mary because baby, Mary done went searching for the truth of what really happened to Nancy. She just couldn't let it go. I said, is she guilty or is her son involved in some way? What's going on here, Mary? Okay, because you got a little bit too much time on her hands. She gets so involved to the point that Eleanor has to go pick her up from the police station when Marcus comes in to tell her, because now Marcus is volunteering in Eleanor's office. So he's like, man, you gotta go pick up my mom. So Eleanor does her due diligence. She go pick up her homegirl. Okay. She's not being arrested, but they need this lady out of their hair. Okay. Not Eleanor. Mary is wilding out, okay, on the people. She needs answers. So now Eleanor asks, she's like, have you taken and Mary kind of interrupts and she says she hasn't had more than an aspirin in 6 months. Girl, what was you on? Inquiring minds want to know. Psych meds, recreational drugs. What was you on, Eleanor? We need to know. Now, meanwhile, Eleanor agrees to help Robert plan Cora's birthday in Nancy's absence. When we can see in a flashback that Eleanor, after all these years, was still pining over Robert. Robert was trying to say she didn't really need no party, but it's kind of a delicate situation. Do you have a party right after your mama passed? Do you not have a party? So we see the detectives and they're questioning Eleanor as she's coming out of Robert's house, because she's always coming out of Robert's house. And she's asking basically what she and someone like Nancy would have in common. Nancy, who had an alcoholic mother, abusive stepfather, and resided in a trailer park. Meanwhile, Eleanor, though black, had means just like Robert, okay? But the Hennessy's could barely accept Nancy with her background, and it seems with the color of her skin, Eleanor wasn't gonna do either. You were never gonna be a choice, Eleanor. Her brother was trying to get her to understand this at some point too, but here we are. But every time Robert calls or texts, Eleanor goes a running. The police are at his place, and here she comes. Okay, they're retrieving some of his items, his laptops, things of interest where they might be able to get some evidence, because it's always the spouse, it's always a significant other. And I said, man, what was you really gonna do? He's talking about he didn't want to call Kit, who's his sister. Kit is a piece of work, child. But I'm like, what was you going to do, Eleanor? What was you going to do? Just sit there and hold his hand? Because that's all you really could do, because you couldn't do nothing with them cops. You ain't no lawyer or nothing else. So, hold on a minute. Hold on, y'all. So on another day, Robert is in the back, okay? Because they live on this beautiful estate. So he's in the back. He's frantically hitting these tennis balls, okay? And Eleanor comes, she coming for a visit, because where's she gonna be? In Robert's face. That's where she's gonna reside, y'all. And he kind of tells her that her brother called with his condolences. And he's saying, he never liked me. And then he reminisces on a fishing trip way back in the day, with her dad, where her brother Donovan told Robert that she was off limits. Baby, Eleanor get mad and take her funky ass over there to confront her brother. And her brother's basically telling her, listen, in a vacuum where the rest of the world doesn't exist, you are the perfect couple. Like, they have similarities in their personalities and just who they are. So in a vacuum, they're the perfect couple, but the Hennessy's are a different kind of people, okay? Not our kind of people, a different kind of people. Excuse me. And like I said, they were the ones that were responsible for David's arrest. She reveals to her brother that she was the one who told Robert about the affair, because, Donovan believes Robert could be the culprit, and Donovan's not the only one that believes it, okay? Now Donovan calls her Robert's backup plan. She ain't take too kindly to that, but I mean, he wasn't wrong, sis. You gotta call a thing, call a spade a spade. If it walk like a duck and quack like a duck, it's some other effing duck. So Cora is upset. She comes home one day and finds her mom's things are all boxed up. I said, Robert, the lady is barely cold. Like, what's really good? You had to pack this lady's stuff up that quickly. Like, you couldn't just not go in the room. You could not. I don't know, child. So Eleanor steps in to diffuse the situation because Eleanor gonna be I hate to say it, y'all. It's giving mammy vibes. So she talks about how she kept some important things close to her from her dad when he passed, and that essentially Cora can do the same. And the rest of the stuff they can put someplace special, like the Ojai house, and she can visit whenever she likes. Now, baby, she should really thought about them words, okay? She should have really thought them words through. It was a great idea, but remember you told this girl that, okay? Remember you told this girl you could keep some of your mama's things close to you, and the rest of them you're gonna put over in the house, okay? And then you can go visit the house. That's what you said, okay? That's what you said. And I'm assuming because Robert's family is the one with means, it's his family home. So Cora, maybe she call off the birthday party, okay? And Robert prepares to go to the Ojai house. But he doesn't want to go alone. Oh, woe is me. So Eleanor, baby, she is more than happy to join him. They get to the Ojai house, baby. She is going through Nancy's thing. She's reminiscing. She's getting emotional. And eventually, her and Robert start to kissing. And they on the couch. And they getting it on. I said, how did we get here? Okay, Robert is butt booty naked now. She ain't butt booty naked. But I mean, he is getting it in. He is, if you do it, but you can do it, put your back into it. Oh, baby, you hate to see it. So in the middle of the night, she goes creeping through the house. She go creeping through the Ojai house, and she's peeking through some of Nancy's things, and she finds a journal. And the journal has like all these drawings and things in there. And you could hear her kind of narrate how she talks about lying about liking Robert because Nancy had asked her and she lied real quick with it. But she says, Nancy also has some lies and stuff going on with her too. I said, girl, stop. Okay, you're not about to justify sleeping with that dead lady's husband like that. We're not doing that. Now, what she also found was a letter from Robert, baby. The letterhead, Robert Hennessy, just on the top. And he just wrote it out in the script, okay, in the cursives and everything. And he's apologizing. He's sorry he scared her, but it also reveals that he knew she was sleeping with somebody else. I said, you tried it, Eleanor. You tried it. And now you got to question yourself. Now you got to question Robert. And that, my dear, is exactly what you get. Okay? Robert walks in and he's asking if she's okay. What's going on? Are you all right? What's up? And maybe that's where episode 2 ends. Now, I was really, really contemplating whether to do episodes 1 through 3 or 1 and 2 and then 3 and 4. But I'm just going to talk through these things and see how these things played out. We at the 23-minute mark, so we're going to leave it here. We're going to leave episode 1 and 2 here, and we'll make another video, whether it's going to be 3 and then 4 or 3 and 4. We never know. I'll give you a one time for the one time. I appreciate you coming through to check this out on the catch up, y'all. Okay, appreciate you ever so kindly. And I'm not gonna keep y'all long. I will catch you guys in the next video, y'all. Peace out, y'all. Thank you.